just one warm-up question to set the stage, since we're talking about AI, to understand whether you're like a doomer or a bloomer in AI questions. Like, what do you think, taking all the advancements of AI into account, will your company flourish, transform, or die in the next 5 to 10 years?
So I think it will definitely flourish, because if you have done the perfect, there is no such thing as a perfect preparation before. But for us, because we are a financial systems provider and a software provider for the last 36 years, we have seen ahead, and we have prepared ourselves for creating the next generation financial Gen 3, as we call them, financial systems to support the banks, which is mission critical. Also clients, and we will be supporting them for transforming to the next era.
I think, to be honest, that will definitely evolve, right? Every other platform, every other technology, I think AI and like everything that we're talking about today, it helps us actually to give customers, to give industry, to give businesses a little bit more of efficiency, a little bit more of value. And of course, we receive fantastic and tremendous feedback from the business, feedback from the customers of our clients. So I think combining all of them, we'll be able actually to grow, we will be able to evolve and to be more and more proactive and efficient.
From my perspective, with no AI, the company, our company, our bank will be dead or will be almost dying.
Private bank could be one of those poster boy failures like Nokia. We could say that we could be complacent and we say we are too big to fail. 18 million clients, more than half of the financial transactions of Ukraine. But because we learn from the past, because we learn from the failures of others, because we learn from our failures, we are in a transformation journey that will hopefully make us flourish even more than we are today.
From my point, as we know from the past with the pandemic, when we had to accelerate the digitalization and most of us managed to catch up and implement and innovate new solution for our clients, it's the same for the future. We work in a very regulated industry, the financial sector. So nowadays, the regulators and all the other authorities are coming with legislation, with rules that enforce us to make things work, and they are supervising. So we have to thrive.
Okay, great. So I'm the only doomer on the stage. That's good. So, Jiří, you had the opportunity to build a bank without decades of legacy systems. Looking at the traditional institutions right now, which challenge do you think they underestimate?
Yeah, that they are underestimated. With AI, it's everything changed. The business is going to be absolutely rewritten, and the opportunity to build something from the ground. Yeah, that's my dream. We have built it with ourselves, but we are kind of different to legacy companies because we are speaking in the different language. And that's the hard point of that. But the AI can help us with translation of our languages to others. So also it's help us to integrate things faster and do it better.
Niklas, everyone is trying to become an AI-driven organization nowadays, right? But from your perspective, what is the bigger risk today? Is it moving too slowly and losing relevance, or is it moving too quickly and losing customer trust potentially?
It's a good question. Actually, we believe that you need to be somewhere in the middle, because you need to be prepared for what's coming. And for me, AI, it's a cliche word, and it's not a technological advancement. It is an operational, structural advancement that changes also the business model and echoes the plans, the strategic plans of an organization. So for me, you should be well prepared in a way that you structure really clearly and have the ability to adapt and echo to all of your teams in order to advance.
So coming from a traditional bank with a long history, which was used to do things face to face with the client, I can tell you that the transformation is very important from the management point of view, because of the fact that some management and stakeholders believe that you get an AI, you just install it and it runs by itself and solves all the problems, which is not actually true, because you have to look at the legacy system, eliminate the legacy system, compile new workflows in order to integrate this. Data is very important and what you feed to the AI. If you don't do it correctly, then it can end up to be as a disaster.
There is this preference of companies calling themselves AI first. Even traditional banks say that we are going to migrate and become AI first bank, which I struggle a bit with, because saying AI first means that something else is second. And in most cases, that something else tends to be the employees. So one of the main areas that we had to improve in private bank, when we embark on this AI native bank journey, was to align the motivation of the team with this transformation that we are going through. Everybody can buy the latest AI models, everybody can get access, everybody can finance tokens, and what will make us different, and what every bank should, or every organization should do, is to value the human capital that will put use in that AI. This is how things should be done.
Let's say if you want to into a bank tomorrow and you could remove one manual process entirely using, let's say, AI workflow automation, which one do you think would create the biggest impact?
Well, I think it's a very good question. Thank you so much. I think I can pick probably or name several workflows or several scenarios, but I think the one that will bring the most value for the bank would be customer onboarding. This is, in our experience, something that helps and can help the bank to, automate the process that is super structured, super well structured. It has a lot of stages. It involves a lot of people from different teams of the bank. It involves definitely customer, right? And when we take a look at the traditional process, how it's structured, when we ask, when the customer wants to join to open an account, for example, right, to join the bank, we ask a lot of questions. We ask the customer to provide some sort of documentation, right, to validate those questions. Then there is a kind of internal handover from one team to another team, and so on and so forth. A lot of back and forth between the bank and the client. What we can do with AI, probably, I think we can reduce those back and forth, reduce those frictions, make sure that AI can collect all the necessary information, answer some frequently asked questions of the client, and then as a package provided with the bank, shared with the bank, right? And with this approach, I think we'll try to make the process a little bit more efficient, a little bit faster. We remove any risk of delay that may impact conversion, for example, right? It will reduce acquisition of the new customer costs, definitely. So yeah, I would probably pick, would be one of my top 3 processes that I would suggest, for sure.
Do you guys feel the same pain with customer onboarding, or not really? Yeah, please go ahead.
I would go with the ones that, let's say, loosens the operational friction. These are the ones, and the less fussy ones, that will create value for a financial institution and organization that wants to achieve excellence. And because of the fact that in most of the cases, those are siloed, standalone, let's say, use case flows that are running around, this is the less fancy use cases are the ones that usually creates the most value and also optimizes the user journey.
Okay, great. Anyone else? Or no? Okay. Razvan, as a CTO, when someone proposes a new AI initiative at private bank, what keeps you awake at night more? The possibility that it fails, or possibility that it will scale so fast that you won't be able to keep up?
Both and neither, honestly. One, why both? Because operating at the scale of private in a country at war where pretty much people depend on us. If the financial transaction doesn't go through, if the salaries of the soldiers are not paid, as these kind of scenarios happen, it's going to be, there is no small incident for us. Every incident makes the 8 o'clock news. So scaling and failing, it's something that, yes, worries me. Also, it worries me if we go into a streak of failures, because AI adoption, it's a matter of building upon successes. And not having those successes, at least from time to time, can tone down the appetite inside the company. But actually, what scares me the most, it's succeeding and not scaling. Because in that case, pretty much for me means that me as a management, as part of the management of that bank, I personally failed.
So when deploying AI or developing AI, from my point of view, we started with payments, with fraud payment detection. Then we used AI for operational purposes, but we still believe that person-to-person communication with the client is something that should remain, at least for the moment. In the future, when AI will develop better, for sure, this tool should be implemented.
Okay. When you say clients, are you talking more about like the regular retail clients, or let's say high net worth individuals?
All type of clients, from private individuals to corporate, for sure. In corporate, is very important to talk person to person.
You don't discriminate. Let's stay with you, and I will ask you the question. There's sometimes a perception that only larger banks can play an AI game. What do you think? Who has the more advantage? Is it like the bigger banks because they have all the budget, or is it smaller banks because they have the speed?
From my point of view, and as we see around us, fintechs are the fastest of adopting the new technology, which also, let's say, kicks us and motivates us to implement and to not stay behind. For sure, a small bank, a startup, and a fintech is more agile and can implement things faster. As the bank gets bigger, from my point of view, the processes are a little bit more not complicated.
Okay, you wanted to.
The advantage has anyone who's open to changes. Usually, the legacy companies are a bit slower at the beginning, so they have this advantage for adapting anything, even the AI. So yeah, one man companies with open mind are in AI adoption much faster than anyone. So transform companies which are ready to change faster can adopt AI faster. And in agentic era, it's even faster.
I will always take bad data from 80 million clients than perfect data from 100. Because I can clean the bad data, I can enrich it, I can do a lot of things, and I can build network effect on top of those 18 million clients. If I have 100 clients to start with, my models are not going to be good or good enough. Even though my innovation process is bullet train fast, I will not have the fuel to power it. So I will take a bad traditional bank and try to improve it. That would be the ideal world.
I mean, for me, there's quite a few limited, let's say, banks that can absorb and can move to the speed that it's, let's say, demanded these times. I mean, for me, it's always the case because we are serving more than 300 clients on a global level, let's say, scale. It's always the medium to small banks that are more eager to move, and they move faster. They have the tendency to do so because they're more agile. And this is where we help them. This is where we come in. There's always exceptions. It doesn't have to be like a big or small or medium bank, but there's always exceptions. But the ones that, the big banks and that they have the teams, what I have seen is like, they move slower. They have the tendency to move slower because of the processes and everything that this goes on.
Vlad, what do you think, since you've been helping banks as well, what do you think banks have to change in order to not lose in this AI game? Because we see, like, for example, OpenAI introduces like new integrations with the banks. So Anthropic does the same basically. So they partner also with like larger clients like with Fiserv and FIS. So basically, assuming the pace will continue to get like faster and faster, it seems like banks, at least in the US, will be like commoditized. They will be just like data providers basically, because you can do everything through, I don't know, like an AI harness. What do you think banks need to do in order to not lose their customers basically?
Yeah, I think right now what is crucial, what is important probably is to distinguish like two things: AI piloting or like AI experiments, and AI that is being implemented into specific banking workflows, right, and used to execute the workflows. So for us, we always suggest to our customers that you shouldn't actually implement AI for the sake of technology or for the sake of AI, right? It's very important to understand or to connect, to link the AI implementation, AI project to specific metrics, specific KPIs that you would like to improve. And then after the implementation, after like this connection, after the implementation of those projects, you will be able actually to trace, to track the outcomes, business outcomes, right? And make sure that actually it creates value for your business, right? Because again, in our experience, in my experience, when it comes to AI implementations, that is just not linked to specific business flows, specific outcomes, specific expectations. It remains just a very like fancy, beautiful demonstration, right? And that's it. So probably something like that.
Okay. Customers increasingly expect financial service to anticipate basically what should happen next for them. So let's say, to save more or to get better service, etc., etc. When do you think it can start to be too intrusive? Where would you put like the borders for AI?
Yeah, for me, it has to do with the working model that they will be choosing, and also the space that they choose to represent, and also the audience that they're intending to in the go-to-market strategy. For me, for what I have seen until now, this is, there is the eagerness to achieve much, but there is, and also the willingness, but there needs to be a clear structure that they understand that the external vendor providers such as ourselves are here to facilitate, to move things faster for them, and to ease the burden for the manpower that they lack. For now, I don't see a visible, let's say, burden for them, and there is no ceiling at the moment, although I would anticipate that in the next 2 or 3 years there will be, and this is where we come from to put some efforts and try to, let's say, make them achieve the targets.
I think he usually had an opinion on it.
Yeah, from my perspective, they are no borders. Just we have to keep the regulatory perspective to keep it running and correct, but it's open to anything and has to be used. Because in other scenario, that was the first question, the company is going to die.
As a society, I think we are getting more comfortable with our suppliers to use our data. The level of acceptance of using our personal data for relevant, making the services relevant, it's growing. Okay. Also, we are, as an industry, as an overall economy, we are migrating from there is an app for that to there is a prompt for that. And therefore, there is this acceptance, growing acceptance with our client base, with our consumer, our beneficiary, to use their data. Okay. The thing is, how and for what are you using the data? Because if you talk about personalization, there are at least 4-5 levels of personalization, right? You can personalize the UI, you can personalize the UX, you can personalize the customer journey, you can personalize the product, and most importantly, the product fees, product commission. Okay. The touchiest of them all is the product customization, even though it is the most lucrative for a bank, because you can price based on the acceptance point of a certain user. But still, if a certain user finds out that he was handled differently than the other user, then you can get into some serious troubles, especially in retail banks. Okay, so this is why the personalization is not a question of do it or do not do it. It's for what to do it and how you make sure that it feels fair and it feels that it is useful. That's the discussion point.
So if you have to choose like one investment over the next 3 years, would it be better AI models, better data, or better cybersecurity? Which one would you choose and why? Which one do you think would give you like the greatest long-term value?
It's not very fair question because you have to choose all three of them.
Yeah, but you have to choose. Let's say you have to choose only one. I know that's not a fair question.
Okay, I would choose the AI investment because we see now that is the future. The next generation is coming. They use the smartphone. They use the AI. So it is a technology that will stay for the future. So this is the point. And because of the fact that with AI, you can integrate in more, even in cybersecurity, even in everything. So that's my take. I have to choose one.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I will choose data, honestly, because for models, I can buy my access to models. I cannot buy access to data. So this is why, in my opinion, is data. And security also, as Alexandru mentioned, it runs a lot on AI, right? So it's the AI part, the models part is kind of the prerequisite for the security.
I think that AI probably could be one of the options, and let me explain why. Because AI is not necessarily something that is all about like fully automating the processes, right? AI is also something to stipulate to make the bank think about like gaps in their business processes, gaps in these in their workflows that needs to be fixed so the AI can work efficiently, right? And this is also like true for the data as well, right? Definitely AI right now can work with fragmented data, but obviously for the most efficient mode, we need to make something with the data. We need to improve the information. We need to improve the data as well, right? So I would, in ideal world, I would pick all of them, but if I need to choose one, probably AI because of those reasons.
Okay. That's question to Yiji. Like, let's imagine everything is now like completely digital, cloud-based, AI-driven. What do you think? Do you think anything has become harder because of that, or everything just became easier?
Yeah, it's still the same question. It's going to be hard, and it's about the knowledge. The answer to previous question as well. Data has no value. AI has no value without the knowledge how to work with the data or with the AI. So yeah, it's faster, and we have to know how to work with it. So challenging future. And we are getting new skills and moving to next generation.
Okay. Now question to everyone. Let's imagine that the regulator would announce tomorrow that every AI-driven banking decision have to be fully explainable to the customer. What would you do?
So with the regulation that is coming with the AI Act and also with the national regulation, my view on this is that for a payment system and for other system, a bank should use its own AI or a vendor that has support and that has a proven track record, and not just go and implement things based on ChatGPT or other software because it's easier. I still think that we have to separate what we do in AI from a financial institution point of view, because there are processes that if they are not implemented correctly, it can turn up dead. With AI data, it's very important to look at the broad data range. Normally, when an AI project is implemented, you start with the test, with the pilot. That test pilot is fed with some data, normally test data or a small amount of data. In the test, everything runs good, it's stable, everything is okay. But when you go to production, then there's issues. So from my take is that with the regulator, so this is very important, and is not only the regulator, this should be the mindset when implementing AI, that you need to have full traceability from compliance point of view, for audit point of view, and for everything.
Yeah, continuing a bit, what I was saying earlier with the fairness of the use of the data. The usage of AI when serving clients, there should not be a regulator coming and say, hey, it should be explainable. It's pretty common sense, because if the client is handled in a certain way, you need to be able to explain it when the client makes a complaint to you or to the regulator or to whatever regulator authority you have in the country. So the explainability of AI should be an objective of the business, as it is not there to hinder the innovation. It's there to increase the trustworthiness of your business in front of your clients.
Yeah, actually, I agree with all my colleagues. I think that from the AI adoption perspective, maybe in the short run, it definitely slows down a bit the pace, right? However, we should always remember that, the banks, financial institutions, they work in a highly regulated area of business, right? So we always must be accountable in front of our customers, in front of the regulator, in front of our stakeholders, right? And we need to have all those tools and possibilities to trace specific decisions or recommendations made by AI. This is why we always say that governance is super important, traceability is super important, transparency is also super important. So if it happens something like you described, I think that we already, all the banks, financial institutions, technology providers, we work under the AI Act, right? And I think it shouldn't be the blocker. It will just help us to build trust, more trust, right? And work like this.
What do you think the future AI future hold for Europe? Because Europe doesn't have one sentence. Europe doesn't have a AI hyperscalers, right? It has maybe one provider. Everything that we're building right now is based on either US models, which are the closed one, or open way Chinese models.
But this is changing, honestly. Even in Ukraine, you would be surprised, or less surprised, considering the IT, in the innovative IT sphere. But there are data centers that are being built during the wartime to support hyperscale, to support models in Ukraine. So I think this will change in the near future. The Europe sovereignty will be a thing, will happen.
Okay, from my point of view, as I mentioned, in a bank, some systems should be isolated and have their local AI, not rely on other AI. So for them, you use LLMs, you train them, it's local LLMs, not public LLMs. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, but we have to work with it, with outsourcing, and also open for, and we have to keep exit scenarios. So yeah, let's work with outsource model, fully compliant, but still come with sovereign setup to have it internally. But in electronic business, there is no way without AI.
For me, I would expect less regulated sandbox environments in order to be able to to develop our own solutions even more faster, and do it in such a way that can be, let's say, as close to reality for the production systems.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I would say that probably we should always remember that AI is not a magic; it's just a tool, right? It's a means to boost efficiency, to accelerate the processes. So outsourcing AI is fine because actually, the huge part that makes it successful is actually business knowledge, right? Business data and things like that.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much, gentlemen.